What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Roxette. And we're up to the final regular non-album tune in the folder, though I am going to go back next time for the demo of Blah 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 You Broke My Heart. But the last regular non-album track in this folder on the second disc of the Deluxe Edition of Room Service, thank you again to Phil and to all the Rocksters who've been part of this journey, is Stupid. And that's not a description on my part, that is in fact the name of the song. I wonder in which direction this adjective, which is not a nice adjective, now granted, you can call yourself stupid. Sometimes when I make a blooper, I say like, oh god, that was so stupid. But generally speaking, it is an insulting term and one that should be used sparingly. I'm not saying it's never relevant, it certainly can be, but it is a word that is, by its very nature, critical and condescending. So I do wonder, again, in which direction this word is facing and what characters or what parts of the song may be potential targets of the word. So let's give it a listen and see what it's about. This is a non-album track by Roxette. It's called Stupid, and it's from the era of their 2001 album, Room Service. I like the uh-oh there, and I swear earlier in the track there was a quick shout vocal, sort of a transitional interjection vocal that I enjoyed. And so, okay, number one, it is directed at the self, but it's coming from the second party, and at first I thought it was more or less straight away the idea that, man, like, you're so good at everything and everyone liked you right away, and it's like even your money's greener than mine, everything about you, it's just better than me, and in your proximity, in comparison to you, you make me feel stupid. But then the line, like, and I'm not gonna take it anymore, is interesting because, number one, if the rest of the lines are sincere, it's like he's gonna cut off this association as a way to make him feel better. It's about like his self-esteem. It doesn't necessarily sound like the other party is denigrating him or condescending toward him. It's like an inferiority complex. And so I guess it sounds like the only way he can deal with that is to sever the connection and then independently feel better about himself. So maybe there's more to it than that. Maybe there is an implication that the other person is, sort of lording over him, like, oh man, you come from such a small, little town that's, my family estate is bigger than your entire town. So maybe some of these perspectives are directly coming from the other person. But on the page, or at least as I heard it, it sounds like it's really in the narrator's head. So in the beginning, when saying, some of the first couple lines, I was thinking, oh, like this could maybe be Pear, and he's talking about how Marie, this golden voice, and she's got the look, and so on. And then I thought, well, no, because like Pear, it seems to me, has always been confident in his songwriting, and the idea that like, even next to someone like Marie, who has this incredible voice and is a talented musician in her own right, the idea that he would feel this inferiority on the level that we hear in the song, it doesn't feel like that. Now, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is more or less taking from their dynamic and maybe exaggerating it or running with the idea beyond what is actually or was actually there. But yeah, the more it went on, the less I was convinced that the source could be Pear and Marie's relationship or their relative self-esteem. It felt like that was less likely. Either way, again, it's another Pear vocal tune, and I think he does a good job. As I said, there's a couple moments where he's like, flourishing, going beyond just like singing the lines on the page, which I very much enjoy. And yeah, some cool guitar work, and the overall vibe is kind of a, what's the right word? It's not like overly happy, but it's certainly not heavy. It's not, super edgy. It's just kind of a smooth pop rock tune is, I guess, the vibe I'm trying to characterize. So yeah, a cool non-album track. As I said, there's one more track in this folder. It's the demo version of Blah 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 Blah, You Broke My Heart. So we'll listen to that one next time, and we'll see what is the next chapter after that. And in fact, I think, was it Michaela? I think Michaela was already saying, like, the next chapter is apparent. So yes, in fact, I'm quite sure of that. So apologies. It's hard to keep everything in this little rattly brain of mine. But yes, I do believe we're already prepared for the next step after that. In any case, let me know what you think here, and I will see you next time. Peace.